dual 13 megapixel cameras on a phone, and then a small peripheral that looks a lot like HTC's version of a GoPro. Well, that is what happened here at the HTC launch event. So it's Josh Vigara from Android Authority. What's going on, everybody? And here I am to bring you the HTC launch event rundown. So when it comes to the launch event, we had a pretty standard affair when it comes to HTC's events. We're here in Madison Square Garden in a kind of nondescript location that is on the side of the actual stadium, so we're not really in it. But still, we have a nice venue right over here on the side, and we have HTC logos and videos all behind me. The lighting is like really kind of dim in a lot of different places, which is why I had to bump up the ISO on my camera for this particular video. But nonetheless, we had the event with a lot of music and lights in the background, but it was about the devices, and there were two of them in particular. But before I get into those, we do have to talk about some software news in the sense that, well, the HTC Eye experience is now what the camera app is going to be called when it comes to HTC devices. And now the Eye experience brings a lot of the same interface with a few new additions in terms of the features that include a crop me in feature where you can actually cut yourself out and be able to impose yourself into other photos, but you also have a great video conferencing feature where it will detect where your face is and create a grid based upon whoever is inside of your actual video. But the HTC Eye experience is actually going to be available not only on the devices that were announced today, but also on previous devices. So all of you with HTC One M8 will be able to get the Eye experience rather on your phones pretty soon. HTC Zoe, on the other hand, has finally been ported over to, see, I told you the lighting was kind of dumb because they just turned off some of the lights, so hopefully you'll be able to see me pretty well. But the HTC Zoe application has been made available for Android devices. It is now on the Play Store, but a nice announcement was that they actually made it available for iOS as well. So any of you out there who are sporting Apple iPhones will be able to use the Zoe experience to create highlights, to send them out to the HTC Cloud in order for other people to mess with them if it so happens to be the case. But that was really the software portion of the review, or rather of the launch, but now we can talk about the actual devices. Darcy has been here for a few days already as HTC brought him out in order for him to take a look at these two devices, so I only got a short time with them, but I hope you're enjoying the videos that I put up for them already. We'll talk about the HTC Desire Eye first. Now, it does sound like a Desire product, but in all reality, it has a lot of tendencies that flagships have. Not only does it have a Snapdragon 801, it's water resistant, and it has a 13 megapixel camera on the rear. It has a 13 megapixel camera on the front, and that's a big deal. The fact of the matter is you'll be able to get great quality shots on the front as well as on the back. And essentially what will happen is, there's Nicole back there. What you'll see is that the camera quality that you have on the rear will be the same that you get on the front, and that will really up your selfie game incredibly. 13 megapixels with really good photos, and as well as the LED flash and all the capabilities in video will allow this phone to bring you all the quality that you need in either case. No matter how you slice it, that's kind of a big deal, and personally I'm really excited about it because, well, I know a lot of people who would love to do selfies and whatnot, and honestly with the Desire Eye I can see them really becoming even better at it. If you're not a selfie person already and you end up getting the Desire Eye, I think I can see you becoming a selfie person because you're going to be taking advantage of that front-facing camera as much as you can. I know I would for vlogging. But then after that, we had a somewhat peculiar product, and really I was able to take a look at it for a while, and we've been able to talk about it for a little bit, but the HTC RE. Now essentially this is HTC's imagining of the GoPro sort of genre of cameras, in that you'll be able to have it in your hand real easily and be able to put it out and capture moments as easily as possible. And it might sound a little bit odd at first, but a lot of the features that they put in actually have been well thought out. For example, a super wide angle lens at 146 degrees. It does have a 2.8 aperture, which means it will be good for general purpose photography, but as our testing has shown, it doesn't really have great performance in low light. So you're gonna, excuse me, so you're going to have to sort of keep that in mind. There is 1080p video capture on it as well, so you'll be able to capture a lot of great moments, but there's also 720p 4x slow motion video capture, which will be great for all of you who probably do things like sporting events and whatnot. But aside from that, the The actual form factor itself is a little bit odd, but it makes it easy to use. You have it in the palm of your hand, gripping it like a gun in some ways, and the button on the top will allow you to get shots off easily and be able to record video right away. It will connect to pretty much any device. It does it via Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Once the connection is done, you'll be able to use the camera app inside of your phone in order to look at the viewfinder, but the micro SD card slot down there will be able to store all of the photos and whatnot there. So that was just sort of what we were looking at here. I did like the idea that you'll be able to capture pretty much anything, and it's a good little product that HTC is trying to sort of introduce into the market. But nonetheless, that was our look at the HTC launch event here in New York City, and we'll be able to bring you even more coverage of these particular devices as they roll out, and we will get our hands on them as they should be available within the next few months, or at least by the holiday season. So keep it tuned to Android Authority and keep it all here. Drop us some likes on our video, subscribe if you haven't already, and remember that AndroidAuthority.com is your source for all things Android.